Back on this side of the river, a Louisville man is arrested in connection to a dog fighting case. Their investigation into Oscar Mitchell started Tuesday when officers responded to a report of an injured dog that had been dropped off in an alley. An arrest citation said it was a pit bull that had several bite wounds. It was indicative of dog fighting, what they had seen. Further investigation led LMPD to an address, and that's where they arrested Oscar Mitchell. Investigators found 4 other dogs chained up. One of them had multiple injuries. Inside, they found a room with blood stains and scratch marks. They also found drugs and drug paraphernalia, a gun, and a brake stick used to separate fighting dogs. They also found medicine that is often used to treat injured animals. Mitchell has now been charged with dog fighting violations, cruelty to animals, and trafficking marijuana.